The summer of my life, I spent leading 3- and 4-year-olds on adventures in the Sierra Nevadas. I loved it. But what I really loved were my co-counselors. I was a shy college kid in awe at the enthusiasm and outgoing spirit and energy and creativity and talent of the other counselors that I got to work with. I sat in the audience every Friday night and watched them put on a talent show that consistently blew me away. My favorite act every week was Andrew. He was a tall, charismatic, athletic varsity soccer player who'd walk out on stage, bow-legged, faded jeans, t-shirt. He'd look out at the audience and he'd quietly say, "You might get the urge to clap along. Don't." And then he'd start tapping his foot. And invariably, there'd be kids sitting in the front that would start clapping along. And he'd just look at them and shake them off. And soon he'd start adding his hands to the rhythm. And then he would slap himself in various parts of his body in a perfect syncopated beat. The energy would build and the rhythm would get faster and faster in almost impossible speeds until finally he threw his hands in the air and the crowd spontaneously would give him a standing ovation every single week. I told him once, I said, "I wish I could do that." He said, "You could." I said, "No, I really can't. I don't have any rhythm." He said, "That's not what it takes. Look, I'll show you." And he showed me the different moves, how you slap which parts of your body. And I tried it, and I was like, yeah, I can't do that. He said, "You can," and that's it. That was the end of the discussion. The next year, I came back to the camp, and I discovered something interesting about the talent show. It wasn't planned ahead of time, and in fact, on the first week, I discovered there were no acts ready, because the host came up to me and said, "Dan, do you have an act for the talent show?" And I said, "Oh, no, I don't." He said, "Well, we don't have anything, so you have to go up there." I said, No, I really can't go. I knew not to take big risks. I would just feel like a fool. He said, "Can't you do something?" I said, "What, like the ham bone?" He said, "Okay, you're up first." I regretted it instantly, even mentioning the ham bone. I thought, oh no, I am really screwed. But I had taken a class at Stanford earlier that year in improvisation, and the teacher said, "Pretend you're an expert." I walked out on stage, terrified, tried not to show it. I said, "You might get the urge to clap along, but don't." And I could tell that some people in the audience thought I was Andrew. They thought I was him. They didn't remember what he looked like. And I started tapping my foot, and the kids started clapping, and I went, And then I started slapping my leg, thinking, how's this gonna turn out? And then I started adding the other hits, and I just went for it. I started hitting myself as hard as I possibly could, just slapping and smacking, and it worked. In that the audience was laughing with me, in a sense. They were enjoying the act. They understood that I couldn't do it. But they were celebrating the fact that I was up there giving it my all. I was pretty pleased with myself, and I was asked to do it again the next week and the next. I got really into it. I started making up stories. I said, I learned this from my dad. Used to play minor league ball in Tennessee. I don't know where I got that. But something happened somewhere along the way. I think it was around week 8. I realized that I wasn't pretending to do the ham bone anymore. Somehow, pretend you're an expert changed into something else. So, you might get the urge to clap along, but don't.
Too low at the moment.